Here is Zack Snyder, and you can see right off the bat, there's an arch in that back. From the shoulders, it starts bending, a C-shaped back, right? Now, here is another Indian, because everybody who's albino, who claim to originate from everywhere else and have told. Now, this is ridiculous. I still have to keep saying this. It's the scariest thing to ever imagine. That these people, albinos, anybody with straight hair, who spoke Hindu or any of the languages or dialects of Hindu, in Farsi or any of the dialects that you find in India, in the country of India and Southeastern Asia, that they got on a boat 171 years ago in the 1850s and arrived in Mexico, and then from Mexico they now immigrated into everywhere else in the United States, Canada, and then South America and the Caribbean. And that if there is an albino right here who is 81 years of age, they would have remembered that their grandparents came on boats. They would know this history. So the question we now have to ask, how did all of them uniformly, because it's a different thing if one or two or three people, or let's say a certain number of people, just forget where they come from. And you could say, okay, it could be maybe, that's just them. They just forget. But how could the whole entire population of albinos, anybody with straight hair who were immigrated in the 1850s, 171 years ago, and meanwhile black people had been in North and South America, immigrated to long before them, how did all the albinos, anybody with straight hair, uniformly forget where they came from and now claim to originate from everywhere else? They claim to be Mexicans, they claim to be Americans, they claim to be Native American, besides their true origin, which is Native Indian. How did they uniformly forget this? We have to answer this question. Because when you answer that question, you will understand that this isn't normal. That this has to do with something that it is not normal. It is not of this world. People don't just forget where they came from. Africans who have been here and immigrated into North and South America never forget where they came from. Even though they've been told that they were slaves, they still remember that they came from somewhere. But how can people who came later on, not that long ago, totally forget and lie to you and claim to be from everywhere else but where their true native country of origin is from, which is in India, the dirtiest, smelliest, stinkiest people? If you have not answered that question to understand that this is nothing but pure Satanism at its finest, then you got something wrong with you.